To those demonstrations now taking place over fired workers at the State Department. We're told about 1,300 workers were dismissed today.
Yeah, our Matt Gregory is live in Northwest D.C. Matt, we've seen crowds of people showing their support as these workers leave the building. We know at 5 o'clock they lost access to the building and their emails. What are they telling you, these workers and those they're supporting?
They're saying this is devastating. I don't know any other word to use other than devastating for them. The last of the workers have come out of the Truman building, the RIFT workers, reduction in force, and they're over here, at least some, gathered with some supporters and with folks over here. As the last workers come out of the building, you can hear the clapping. That's Senator Chris Van Hollen who's speaking right now. You can hear the thank yous from the crowd. You can hear people talking about that. It might be hard to hear me, in fact, over all the whistling, but that's the last of the RIFT workers coming out today. Roughly around 1,300, we're told, between civilian as well as foreign service workers. So let's take you through what has been going on today. As we went through the day, guys, we were seeing all sorts of displays of different ways that folks were saying, you know, we don't know what's happening next. We're quite devastated by this. And some of the RIF emails right here, if we can pull that up for you. You know, it started around 9:30. That's when folks started to get the emails. We were also told that, you know, at that time they were starting to come out almost alphabetically. It seemed like certain departments picked. And, you know, throughout the day, they didn't want to speak with us on camera, and still have not, by the way, I should say. And every time I asked, they said they're either too devastated or worried about what could happen to their benefits, things of that nature. So we've heard a whole different reason why we've not been able to see them. But at this point now, we have this small rally that's gathered here. It's growing into about 200 probably people, as I've been, you know, roughly estimating. And, you know, the ones we did talk to, though, there's retirees that came here to show their support, to say to these people who aren't even their colleagues, thank you for your service. And one of them we spoke with, we said, give us an idea of how these workers are feeling right now. And this is what he said. His name's Bob Gilchrist.
You know, being a retiree, I can speak now, but they're professionals, and ultimately, you know, we support the policies of the administration. I think this policy, however, of RIFs, of skilled diplomats, skilled foreign service officers, and civil servants is a travesty.
There's also something that many of them found on their desks today, made by some of their co-workers. This is not official, but this was in the State Department. It's a sign that says, "Here worked America's experts on democracy, human rights, which includes women's LGBTQ+ and minorities' rights, election security, freedom of expression, privacy, on countering corruption, violent extremism, and disinformation." This was on many of their desks as they came in today. We saw a lot of hugging today, a lot of tears, a lot of boxes, and a lot of folks who saw their careers cut short by what they say is an arbitrary and capricious riffing, reduction in force. We also talked to some lawmakers. I talked to Chris Van Hollen's folks earlier and Suhas Subramaniam from Northern Virginia. You'll hear from them coming up at 6 o'clock on what they say they think they still have left to play and to do to stop more cuts. But you'll hear that coming up at 6 o'clock. But for now, outside the State Department, I'm Matt Gregory. Back to you.
Yeah, you know, those that have been opposed to the cuts say that these cuts potentially compromise our standing around the world, make us less safe here at home. But the administration says that these cuts are necessary to improve efficiency.
That's right. We'll see how this all shakes out for sure. Matt, thank you.